Okay, let's get right into this really chilling account from a remote mountain village. And this is more than just a typical ghost story, you know? It's really about a fear that's so ancient it feels like it's woven into the land itself, into the fog that blankets the hills. And it makes you think, what do these stories really tell us about ourselves? The whole thing really hangs on this one terrifying line from the person who saw it. I mean, that single description, it just paints a picture of something that completely defies any kind of natural explanation. So, what did he actually see out there? To really understand what happened to him, to get to the bottom of that final horrifying moment, we have to go back a little. We need to understand the legend that haunts these hills. So let's start right there with the legend itself. What is this shadow in the fog? What's the source of a fear that pretty much dictates how everyone in this isolated community lives their lives? Well, the locals, they don't call it a ghost or a monster. They call it Oku. And it's a name that's only ever spoken in a whisper. The idea is that this thing, it was never human. It's something else entirely. And you see this a lot in old folklore, right? All the unexplainable dangers of nature, like sudden storms or rock slides or just getting lost, they get personified, rolled into one single sinister entity. The Oku, well, it's the embodiment of all the peril the forest holds. But this fear, it's not just some old story they tell around the fire. For the villagers, it is a daily reality. And it's marked by a series of really unsettling events that they've learned to recognize as warnings. It always starts subtly. Livestock just vanishes. No trace. People start hearing this strange, hollow laugh that seems to come from everywhere and nowhere at once. They'll catch a flicker of movement in their peripheral vision, but when they turn to look, there's nothing there. The air will suddenly go ice cold, and then comes that overwhelming, skin-crawling feeling of being watched from inside the fog. The village elder, a woman named Nirmala Devi, she knew these weren't just random occurrences. She saw them as precursors, signs of something to come. And she had 3 absolutely crucial warnings for anyone who would listen. And this is where you really start to feel the weight of the situation. This wasn't just folklore for entertainment. This was a survival guide, passed down through generations, probably because of tragedy. This is how communities have always encoded and remembered real-world dangers. The rules were simple, and they were absolute. Number 1, stay off the mountain paths after dusk, especially when that fog rolls in. That's when it's easiest to get turned around. Number 2, if you hear a strange poem or a song, some kind of voice trying to lure you off the path, you ignore it. And rule number 3, the most important one of all, if you are unlucky enough to actually see it, you never, ever meet its gaze. Nirmala Devi always stressed that this thing was a deceiver. It preys on your curiosity. It might look like a lost child or just a fleeting shadow. Sometimes it's not a sight at all, just a pocket of unnatural freezing cold. Its form is never fixed, and that's exactly what makes it so dangerous. Which brings us right back to our narrator. A guy who had heard the stories, sure, but like a lot of people, probably didn't truly believe them. And there he was, all alone, coming down the mountain, just as the evening fog started to pour in. I mean, look at this. You can see how everything unfolds exactly like Nirmala Devi warned. He's on the path after dusk. The fog is thick. He sees something that just shouldn't be there. This little girl, standing perfectly still. And then, he hears the poem. He said the first thing he noticed was physical. It was a sudden, paralyzing chill that had nothing to do with the weather. It was a cold that felt like it was radiating out from a single point up ahead in the woods. And then, the sound started. It was the voice of a little girl, but it was hollow, totally emotionless. She was reciting a poem in a language he'd never heard, but he said the words themselves just felt wrong, as if they were never meant for human to hear. So he paused. He's already broken the first rule by being there, and the second by listening, and then he made that final mistake. He looked closer. And in that instant, the illusion of the little girl just dissolved into this horrifying reality. The human shape was just a lure. What he actually saw was just this mass of shifting black smoke. It had no bones, no real shape, but it was pulsing, like something alive. It was a physical impossibility, like a piece of living darkness, and it started to move right toward him. He didn't even think about it. He just turned and ran, scrambling down that mountain path in pure terror. He escaped with his life, yeah, but he definitely did not escape with his peace of mind. This wasn't just some fleeting scare. That encounter left a permanent psychological scar on him. He says he relives the memory of that boneless, formless thing every single day. It's really a testament to how profoundly a belief, especially when it's seemingly confirmed, can completely alter your reality.
But this is maybe the most chilling detail of the entire account. He mentioned he'd taken a few photos on his phone earlier in the day on his way down the mountain. And now, when he looks back at them, he is convinced that in the blur of the fog, behind him, just at the edge of the frame, he can make out a dark shape that he never noticed before.
And that leaves us with this really haunting final thought. He got away, but the mountain is still there. The fog still rolls in, and the Oku, it's still waiting. It makes you question the real purpose of these stories. Are they just tales to scare us? Or are they warnings about real dangers that we've maybe just forgotten how to see?